Welcome, everyone. I would like to begin by acknowledging that I am presenting today here on the traditional and unceded territories of the combined nations of the Nuchinoth, Kwawakiwak, and Coast Salish traditions. And I invite you to take a brief moment to quietly also acknowledge the traditional and unceded territories of your own communities. So thank you for joining us here today to learn about funding options, planning ahead for student hires, co-presented by VIWIL, Mitacs, and Innovate BC. I'm Dana Neeland. I am the Employment Engagement Facilitator for VIWIL, and it's my pleasure to get the ball rolling here today. So first, I will share a brief introduction of North Island College and Vancouver Island University's collaborative project, Vancouver Island Work Integrated Learning, or VIWIL. Then I'm going to pass the reins over to Mike, who will share about Mitacs funding, and finally Marcelo will finish up with some information about funding opportunities with Innovate BC. We plan to keep things very brief, and there will be some time after each funding webinar for Q&A, as well as some time at the very end after all of the webinars are complete. And we will be following up with an email sharing more funding information with you, sharing a recording of this webinar, and there is an opportunity to opt out if you do not wish to receive future emails from us. Great, so we're excited to share with anyone who's not already familiar about our collaborative project, Vancouver Island Work Integrated Learning. So to start off, a brief recap of what is work integrated learning. So work integrated learning is essentially experiential learning. Students put into practice their class learning within a professional work environment by being temporarily hired by a business, most typically for a paid opportunity. And work integrated learning is really founded on a strong collaborative relationship between an academic institution, a host organization or an employer, and a student. And through this collaborative partnership, we have the opportunity to be working together to mentor the next generation of the workforce on Vancouver Island. So there are two types of work integrated learning that North Island College and Vancouver Island University students engage in. The first is cooperative education. Cooperative education is typically 420 hours. Sometimes that can range a little bit longer. And it is always a full-time and paid opportunity. And the second type is internship. Internships have a little bit more flexibility. They can be a full-time or a part-time opportunity, and they can be paid or unpaid. And they range typically from about 180 to 360 hours. So if you are seeking temporary employees, work integrated learning is a great fit. It can also be a really good opportunity to vet a future potential hire. Students are bringing industry-specific training and skills, as well as very strong research capacities. So if you have back burner projects or strategic initiatives or special projects that you'd really love to attend to, but you're not able to due to a lack of time and human resources, work integrated learning is a great fit. And finally, the focus today is on the benefit of being able to access specialized grant funding in order to hire work integrated learning students. So we have collaborated to create work integrated learning, Vancouver Island Work Integrated Learning. We have created a new portal where employers can post opportunities that will reach students at both institutions, both NIC and VIU, and that portal can be found through www.viwil.ca. And in addition to being a portal where you can post work integrated learning opportunities that'll reach student talent on Vancouver Island, VIWIL is a resource hub. So it's really a one-stop shop access where you can find information that will help you with all aspects of the hiring process to hire student talent. So how do you connect with student talent? First of all, you will sign up and register and create a job posting at www.viwil. And then there is an opportunity for you to apply directly for magnet SWIP funding through our VIWIL portal. Finally, you will receive applications of interest and interview and hire just as you would for a permanent role. So be sure to save the date for our next funding webinar coming up in exactly 3 weeks from today on June 16th from 1 p.m. to 1:30 p.m. And this will be co-presented through Vancouver Island Work Integrated Learning and Magnet. Magnet will give us some updates on the Magnet SWIP funding. Once again, our portal is www.viwil.ca, and you can also reach us through email at info@viwil.ca. Thank you so much for following us on our social media platforms, and it really is a pleasure to help to support you, to connect you with student talent on Vancouver Island. Great, so we'll finish up, and now we're going to hear from Mike, who will share more about Mitacs funding.
Perfect. Okay, so thank you, Dana. My name is Mike Kennefick, and I work for Mitacs, and I am a business development specialist here located on the island in Nanaimo, and I am representing all of the island north of the Malahat. And so in this quick presentation, I will give a quick background about Mitacs and then some of our flagship offerings. And so Mitacs is a national independent not-for-profit organization that fosters growth and innovation. And our program objectives are to promote high-quality research, attract new funding, stimulate international research collaborations, increase professional opportunities for both students and researchers, support flexible and collaborative research initiatives, while also supporting all disciplines. And so today I'll talk to you about two of our programs, the Accelerate and the Business Strategy Internship. Now these programs are open to all students, which is a new offering. And so I'll get into those nitty-gritty details shortly. So firstly, let's talk about the Mitacs Accelerate program. So Mitacs Accelerate is basic and applied research collaborations between academia and for-profit or not-for-profit organizations. And I have an asterisk there just because we have different stipulations on partner organizations that I'll get into a bit later as they apply to both the Accelerate and the BSI programs. But at its core, there are three different components to a Mitacs Accelerate or BSI. And first being an academic partner. So for a project with Mitacs, the academic partner would be a professor to supervise a project at an academic institution, for example, at VIU or at NIC. Second would be an industry partner. And again, we can have for-profit or not-for-profit organizations, such as some of you are on this call, as research partners. And finally, we have an intern. And so this can be any full-time registered student to conduct a research projects. So again, just to summarize quickly here, we have an academic partner, an industry partner, and an intern, and they all work together to create some kind of a research project that fits both the academic partner's goals as well as the industry partner's goals. And so this is open to participation for undergraduates and graduate students, as well as postdocs in internship modules of 4 to 6 months. And so importantly, this is open to all academic disciplines, and for the Accelerate program, there is no deadlines. So applications are accepted for this at any time. And so there are more than 14,000 internship modules to be submitted for this fiscal year. And these can be small and large scale multidisciplinary projects ranging in funding from $15,000 to multi-million-dollar projects. We have an over 95% application success rate, which puts us very high up and better than most funding programs through the federal government. There's a quick, simple application process, and there's a decision made within 6 to 8 weeks. And very importantly, this is open to both domestic and foreign students and postdoctoral fellows. And so the core structure of our programs goes like this. An intern spends a minimum of 4 to 6 months or one module on a project. And you can have as many modules as you need. So any business can have multiple internships. We can pretty much just scale up from that single unit. And the intern spends a minimum of 25% of their time at each site. So the post-secondary / the partner organization site. Researchers can have multiple 4 to 6 month modules with students. And in terms of eligibility or number of modules each students can do, an undergraduate can do 3 modules, a master's student can do up to 4 modules, a doctoral student can do 8, and a postdoc up to 9 modules. And so if you think about that over time, we're looking at up to 36 months for a highly qualified postdoc, or even up to 48 months for a PhD student or candidate. And so at its core here, one 4-month unit has a total budget of $15,000, for which the partner contribution is only $7,500, or 50% of the total budget. So next, I'll talk about the business strategy internship. And what's really important to keep in mind here is that I'm giving a bit of an advanced preview of what BSI might look like going forward. And so the information I'm presenting here is based on our previous iteration, or BSI 1.0, which was offered up until March of this year. BSI 2.0 has not yet been launched, but will be in the near future. And so this is our best kind of guess at what this program will look like. And so, as you will recall, the Accelerate program was really designed to be a research type project, whereas the BSI program is structured to assist organizations with developmental work to help them modify or advance their business operations. And so, similar to Accelerate, this is a 4-month project, and there can be an academic supervisor or appropriate research staff member appointed by an institution to work or oversee the work. And so in terms of partner eligibility, we do have some expanded partner eligibilities that I detailed below. And again, these aren't official yet, but they will be available in the near future. So for-profit entities and not-for-profit entities are good as of right now. For not-for-profit entities, we need to have these vetted through Mitacs, and you can just connect with me through my email at the end of this presentation if you'd like to have your organization vetted. And soon we'll be announcing the eligibility of municipalities or regional governments, as well as hospitals or health authorities in an indirect manner. And so we will have this expanded eligibility very soon. And expanded offerings. So potential calls that we will be offering through Mitacs. We had an Indigenous-based call for 2020-2021. For these projects, interns were self-identifying as Indigenous, or partner organizations were 50% owned or greater by an individual that self-identifies as Indigenous. And as part of this call, there was enhanced cost sharing ratios. And so as you recall, for the Accelerate, there would have been a $7,500 contribution from the partner. But under this special call, the ratio went down to $3,750 for the partners, with Mitacs covering the rest. And so for BSI, that was $2,500 instead of $5,000 for the partner. And again, Mitacs covering the $7,500 remainder. And also there will be an SME discount, which will offer another enhanced cost sharing ratio. The details of that are again still to be finalized, but we're excited that we will be able to offer this in the near future. And one last component was I wanted to just present the request for researchers. And so if you're a business that's looking to partner with Mitacs, you can always post your projects directly onto our website through this address below here, mitacs.ca/ all of that. I'm not going to go through it all. Essentially, Google Mitacs Accelerate, and then if you click on the Researchers Wanted tab, you can upload a project here based on discipline. And so that will give you access to our national network of academic researchers looking to potentially partner with businesses on cool projects. And I just wanted to thank our funding partners, federal government, as well as many of the provincial and territorial governments. And I wanted to thank everyone for their interest. This is my email here, mkennefick@mitacs.ca, as well as my phone number. Please feel free to contact me about any questions.
Great. So we'll move on, and Marcelo will now share about opportunities through Innovate BC.
First of all, I would like to acknowledge that I'm standing on and see the traditional territories from the Musqueam, Squamish, and Silitl people. Now, I'll be glad to provide some information about Innovate BC. So Innovate BC, we're a Crown agency, part of the provincial government. We support companies from all British Columbia. Our role is to connect BC innovators with funding, support, and resources to help them scaling up, help them to R&D, help them commercialize, and basically be successful. We support companies at all levels, so from the startups to well-developed companies. Our mandate is to work to accelerate the technology sector all through all regions of the province, so all around the province. So we act in all spaces and all the regions of British Columbia. So we have several programs that might be very interesting for entrepreneurs. Our funding can be divided in 3 main streams, which is like programs for getting funding, programs from connecting with experts and expertise business advice, basically ideas launchers. So our challenges or competitions or innovation challenges and more initiatives that we have, and we're running all around the year. Some of our funding programs, like most important relevant funding programs, for example, are Digital Skills for Youth and Innovation Skills Initiatives. These programs are meant to help companies hiring talent. So, for example, the Digital Skills for Youth program is meant to help companies hiring young professionals that are underemployed or that are unemployed, and that they basically have finished a degree in a university or college recently. This is a great program because the grant can also be utilized to train and provide training in technology for the interns. So for example, programming, coding, or anything related with this, or digital marketing. Another program that is really great is our Innovation Skills Initiative. Our Innovation Skills Initiative program is still under development. We'll be making a launch in the summer, but this program basically will help companies accessing interns, so students that are working in either university or college in British Columbia for the company, and there's a $10,000 grant for companies to cover that. Our Digital Skills for Youth program will open in June 1st, so please contact me if you're interested about this program, if you would like to subscribe to your newsletter or simply stay in our waiting list. I'll be glad to help you. But we don't have programs only for talent. So these talent programs are specifically very useful to help companies de-risking talent hiring, accessing talent pool, and building an employee base. This is extremely important for startup companies especially, and can be a great tool to building up their talent base of employees. Similarly, for companies that are looking for more resources for R&D, commercialization, maybe accessing customer base or running pilots, we have 2 programs which are competitive programs, or they're competitions in which companies can compete for this funding. This is our BC Fast Pilot and our Ignite program. So both programs offer like a substantial grant for covering R&D purposes, but have slightly different objectives. So our Ignite program, for example, is most focused for R&D projects in collaboration with academia. So for example, a project in collaboration with Vancouver Island University or Northern Ireland College would be eligible. And our BC Fast Pilot program, on the other hand, is for companies that are looking more for designing a pilot plant with a customer or a stakeholder interested that will help them to actually buy the technology or scale it up or actually commercialize. So these are extremely well programs. It helps reducing the risk in their R&D expenses and basically advancing their pipeline through commercialization, as well as establishing a consortium to work on their pipeline, on the research pipeline, and on their business pipeline, which is extremely important as well. And one of our other programs, so we don't only have funding programs. Some of the other programs that we have is for having expertise advice. So basically helping companies with expertise advice. One of our most traditional programs is our Venture Accelerator program. So this is a program that is managed by Innovate BC, but is actually delivered by our Beacon Partner Network. And our Beacon Power Network are work really hard to deliver this program and support as many companies as possible. In the island, we're working with Innovation Island and with Beacon and Mitacs. So if you're interested in this program, just contact the closest Beacon network partner in your region, and they will be happy to provide the program for you and provide business expertise advice with their mentors in residence. And of course, we have our challenges as part of launching ideas and making connections. For example, before COVID, we had we had several events happening. Now we're adapting through online events that we have to help companies learn, connect, do business, and advance, basically stay connected with the technology ecosystem. As part of that, we also had our several challenges with half sector specific. So for example, these couple of months we were working on an aquaculture challenge in which we had awarded more than $325,000 to 3 companies that won the award on the aquaculture space. And basically in which companies will pitch basically the technology, and they're chosen by a committee and by the fans to actually be supported through these grants and advance towards their technology and commercialization. So in Innovate BC, we work very hard with several areas in the sector, with not only with companies and with academia, but we work with many different organizations in the sector, Mitacs included. Actually, I'm co-founded by Mitacs as well, supporting Mitacs in Vancouver. And we work really hard to help companies accessing this business ecosystem and accessing resources. So if you have any questions or you'd like to contact me, please send me an email. I'll be happy to discuss Innovate BC programs with any entrepreneurs and finding ways to best support you. So thank you very much, Dana. And I'm open to questions.
Great, thank you, Marcelo. Do we have any questions specifically for Innovate BC? Thank you, Mary. Can nonprofits apply to Innovate BC? Is the question, Marcelo?
Well, usually, yes, so nonprofits can apply to Innovate BC programs. Now, different programs have different restrictions. So I would go to our website, check specific programs that you're interested, and the specific programs might have slightly different eligibility rules, but many of our programs are open for not-for-profits, yes.
Great, thank you.
I see a question, so how can I apply for Innovate BC? Basically, we have all of our information is in our website, that you can contact me for specific programs. Our BC Fast Pilot program will open, the application will open in June 1st. We're actually transitioning to an online application system. So right now, to apply for the programs, just subscribe to the newsletter, learn where the programs will be open, and many of the programs will open on June 1st. Some other programs will open in July. So stay subscribed or contact me for specific information about programs, and I'll be happy to help you. For the Venture Accelerator program, that is opening all year long, and to access that program, you contact one of our Beacon partners, such as Innovation Island, for example, here in Vancouver Island in Nanaimo.
Great, thanks, Marcelo. Mike, we have a question from Johanna. In terms of approval for nonprofit entities, what criteria is required to be approved?
Yeah, I just typed that into the Q&A, but happy to say it here as well. Since we're funding, our funding comes from government sources, we can't partner with anyone who receives more than 50% of their funding from government sources as well. So the process for this is really an easy Word document that I can send around to anyone. We just need a bit of information from the not-for-profits, and just anyone that wants this form, just feel free to contact me at my email there.
Great, well, I think we'll finish things off there, and you can certainly reach out to Marcelo, Mike, or to myself and our VIWIL team. If you have further questions about our VIWIL portal or our VIWIL project,